Hello, welcome back. Last time, Leaf went down into an active volcano and somehow got back out of it alive. So, game's been behaving itself really well last few episodes. I guess I got all my issues fixed. Just take a quick little detour and talk about this weird thing that happened in bridge demolition. So I figured out what was going on here. So if I hold my initial state button, my numbers looked funny here. There were 3 things going on. So I had this was number 0 until I fixed it. Now it's number 1, then you're still number 5, number 8, so weirdly high looking numbers, so I figured out. So first problem, my numbers were off by 1 because Leaf is not in this room. Leaf is actually at turn order 0, and everything else was indexing based on that. So I just had to offset these by 1 for rooms that Leaf is not in when I'm evaluating the numbers. So second thing, I already talked about how objects are placed on different layers in here. So this still might not make sense though, because that's 5 and that's 8. What is that gap? So there are some push blocks here. They're taking up the rest of the turn order, and I've explained why these have turn order. It's because of sliding on ice. And if you look at these, they actually are kind of funny. So you go 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. So somehow the bum bug is in between these two in turn order. So then that adds up to 8. You make sense. You're last in the room. You're last in the turn order. So the third thing that was going on is that this is a very old map and was made with different tools than the current in-game editor, which actually can put things on different layers than the ones that the editor normally would put them on. So there's, this bomb bug, I think is on the same layer as these 2 push blocks. Yeah, so these 2 push blocks are on the monster layer or something. So they still work the same in-game, it just affects their turn order in a funny way. So yeah, technically, this is a situation that can't really be set up in the editor, but it doesn't affect anything because the turn order of these is irrelevant. Yeah, so just a little weird number inconsistency there. Anyway, all that's fixed. Everything's cool. Let's go to Marsh Checkpoint. And so here's the, if you've watched the trailer for this game, you'll recognize this music. One of these days, I'll talk more about the soundtrack of this game. This is a whole lot of fun to put together. Soundtrack available for purchase if this is your kind of music. Link in description, etc. Alright, so, Marsh 2. Slugs going around where there are angry eyes, so these elements mix together. Cattails making sure that I don't get shot as I walk in here, because those are sightline blockers. Alright, so, several things to kill. You 2 are isolated in the water, so slugs have to get to those pressure plates. So this is another one of those. Slug goes around in a circle until released, and situations, and we want them both to go north. But the things that are around the side are angry eyes, and if I just kind of go in here, my slugs are going to die very quickly. At least one of them will. So if I want you to move north, that means killing this angry eye and this angry eye in particular. So, if I try going around this way, the slugs might survive, but I don't really get much of anywhere. If I try to go up the right side, what happens? I'll wait until you're a bit safer, since this is going to be firing that direction. What happens is your southward stopper kind of gets annihilated, and your eastward stopper, and so do you. So you kind of need those. Alright, so a better approach to this is from the west, and you just gotta use just the right timing so that this slug dodges around all the beams coming in its direction. I think this is the right timing. So you're on your next turn is going to be a rest turn, so this beam doesn't kill you. Then your next turn is going to be a move turn, and right, turn order does not matter, or at least monster move order doesn't matter because... Oh boy, okay, so I guess there's a little bit of move order shenanigans here. You can figure it out by trial and error, but even though the angry eye takes its turn before the slug, because this is not, well, now it's 8 because something died. This is 8 and this is 9. Right, that was, I guess, the 4th thing going on in this room. The move order changed because some of the things had gone in the water. So yeah, anyway, so... yeah, so Angry Eye Beams are spawned after all monsters have taken their move turn. That happens in the action phase. One of these days I'll put together some documentation of like exactly what the mechanics are. They're kind of complicated, but you don't strictly need to know to play Tower of Destiny at the very least. Anyway, so this beam wipes out that angry eye, and you are already set up to go where you need to go. So now I just have one other slug to deal with. So go over here and dance around some lasers and stuff. And I can't make this kill yet because of crossfire, but the kill I really need to make is this one, and you happen to dodge that perfectly. So there we go. That should resolve things nicely. You dodged again, good. This angry eye dies because you went on that plate. Another one happened the same way. There we go. Oops. There we go. Okay. So, traffic controller. We got toggle floors, slugs, those are some familiar, but statue is also around. So this mechanism toggles a lot of stuff. Clearly we have a complicated slug routing puzzle with a bunch of constraints here. If you look at the monsters in the room, this one needs to die somehow by poisoning. This should be a familiar looking setup at this point. So Slug goes across this poison to get up here and lay down a trap for the bomb bug. Bomb bug walks into it. There's some interlinking because the bomb bug also has to get off of this pressure plate in order for the slug to be able to get up here. So I need to go up here and get the bomb bug's attention for a moment, get out of its way, poison that tile, and then the slug and bomb bug are my final kills of the room. But meanwhile, we got this statue and, you know, this situation where I can go in, set something up, go out, and that's it. And then the rest of the room is going to be spent out here running into that switch over and over. So we need a place for the statue to go. Let's try just killing the statue nowhere in particular. Just somewhere that's out of the way. Where even is that? So things the statue can do. It could be an obstacle for the slug to hit so that it turns. It could fill in some water so the slug can go over it. I think those are the only two things. Or it can just be killed out of the way. So let's put it here. And try to get the slug to go up here. Instead of doing it this way, what makes more sense is just to trace out the path manually. So if this is the end point, slug needs to go north from here. Statue cannot be killed in this spot, which would be appealing for turning north. In fact, actually, this entire west column is somewhat appealing. West, this is east, sorry. Other way around. Because, yeah, so to turn counterclockwise, you would go up this way. Okay, so you need to hit something that is in the eastmost column in order to turn north. Things that are already there. You. And I could add statue rubble here, here, here. Yeah, those are the three spots, because I can't do it here because those are hot coals. So one of those three spots could be rubbled. Otherwise, you're hitting this. Okay, so prior to that, I'm either approaching from this row, this row, this row, or this row. So that means, for one thing, you need to hit the north boundary and bounce back south, unless there's an obstacle here, which there cannot ever be. So, let's say it's statue rubble here. Well, there's no obstacle anywhere in this row that's compatible with that, so that's not happening. Let's say it's statue rubble here. Okay, potential obstacle there. I would need to toggle this at just the right time to get you through that, so that looks promising. Let's try that way. So that's statue here, slug going around. I haven't figured out how I'll get the slug around, but let's just hope it works out. So open that, let you through. Close it, send you north. Open that, let you through. Leave it closed. Open it. Leave it open. Okay, so slug's on its way, but I need to wait here until just the right moment. So because of the way things are evaluated, you can actually jump this gap without falling in either water there. So now I just need to move the bomb bug so you can get north, but look at that, I don't have time to do that. And without my interaction down here, you can't get up there anymore. So that didn't work. Alright, let's look at the other possibilities. So statue rubble. Here we tried because there's an obstacle there. Here. Well, the only thing in the road to the south is this. And the slug's not going to be moving south in this column. There'd have to be something up in this area, and there's not. So that's no good. Okay, so here, I can't make the kill there. That's impossible. So, that means the statue rubble does not go here, and instead the slug's colliding with this. Okay, so either statue rubble is going in like one of these three spaces, or slug is colliding with one of these two to precede that. So, let's see. The issue with using statue rubble, if you try it in something like that, so let's try putting it here for colliding. Problem with that is it falls, and if you make a kill on a toggle floor, that cannot be an obstacle. So now, that's not only made it impossible for the statue rubble to be an obstacle, it's also removed the toggle floor's ability to be an obstacle. So that kind of has two different implications. Okay, so let's try this spot. Cool, if that's the spot, then I need something to bump against that's here, and the problem is I've just trapped my slug in a place where it can't really get anywhere of use, so that spot's no good. And this spot's no good, so that way, we know that the slug is either bumping against this while it's open, or this while it's open. Alright, let's look at the east one. For that, I'd need an obstacle here. There are two, but this one is no good because I can't put anything here. This one is useless because if I were bumping into the north end of that, I would rather just proceed to the north and finish the puzzle. So like if I'm already in this column with enough time to get up here, then there's no point in doing a more complicated circle. So it's not this. Therefore it must be this one because that's the only option left. Okay? So you're the thing I need to bump against, so that would need to be open. Therefore I'm coming from the east. There's exactly one legal thing for a slug to bump against here, and that's this bit of water. Unless I put the statue somewhere in the west column. Okay, so viable places for that. Here. Not too appealing, because there's not much to do. Oh, hang on. So that would almost work. Let's try that. What I'll discover is with any situation that looks like this, so this looks like it'll work, but it actually has the exact same issue we had before. So the problem we ran into before is that I have to babysit this whole thing, because if I do that early, then you fall in the thing, or just don't make it. So I have to wait until exactly this moment. So that's kind of the crux of the puzzle. Like, I cannot make it here in time if you are crossing these two. So after evaluating the constraints, we find that this is the problem spot. Therefore, the statue needs to interact with these, because as we saw before, killing it on a toggle floor and dropping that removes the toggle floor's ability to be an obstacle. So, wouldn't it be great if I could just have the switches in this state the way that I want them, and not worry about crossing this? Alright, so that must be where the statue goes. So let's do the rest of this. I don't want you to hit those hot coals, which is what would happen if this were closed. So we'll go north. I don't want you to circle back around to where you were, so that closes. I don't want you to hit those hot coals, so I leave it closed. And you'd circle back around, so do this. You'd be back to where you were, so do this. And so now you need to turn north. Problem is, I killed the statue there, so this can no longer be an obstacle, so you can only go across it. Ah, that's fun, so it doesn't clean the poison off because the stepping stone counts as a floor just like the toggle floor does. Yeah, so you'll just hit the hot coals and die. So, if the statue cannot be killed in that spot, then we're down to exactly one possibility, which is that the statue must go here. It's the only way it can work. So statue falls in the thing. It doesn't look as appealing because that doesn't seem to give me the time that I need to get up here, but let's play it out and see what it does. Right, okay, so closed, open. You go up north, go around this route that we planned out earlier. South through here, hit this. Do that. And so now you'll realize that it is at this point that I can hit the switch again, and I have a few turns of movement that I gained, because the slug is all the way down there instead of all the way up here. So now, I have enough time. Bomb bug moves, slug poisoned it, and room resolves. So yeah, this is a pretty complicated constraint puzzle. There was a time when this was the first puzzle that you would encounter in this zone. I thought onlookers was just a much better introduction than traffic controller, so at some point I swapped the two. I think that was a good call. Alright, take aim. There is ice in the swamp, or the ocean? So yeah, it's all marshy here. You'll notice that like all the ground here is made of wood. So we're kind of like, I don't know, it's an abstract space. It's this extended wooden structure, like an atoll or something, just out over the ocean, which, you know, is part of the marsh. Don't worry about it, it makes sense. Anyway, so Angry Eye, on toggle floor, on water. Kind of like, yeah, there was one of those here too. No, there wasn't. Actually, no Angry Eye was involved in this, this puzzle, right? Right, okay. So Angry Eye, on toggle floor, on water. Slug moving up and down, it's just going to do that forever. So we got a target up here. Slug needs to go this way. This needs to be closed at the time. So it uses this toggle pressure plate in order to kill the Angry Eye, and that's the only way that's happening. For a second I thought I saw an alternate solution. That's impossible, right? Yeah, this is way too far away to consider bridging with these push blocks that are here. And also, this is all icy, so you can't really get these positioned to, like, bridge up here. And also, if you used all three for bridging, what's the point of that? You don't have one left to clean this off. Okay, yeah, so there's no problem with that. So Slug going up and down, Angry Eye here. What's the Angry Eye doing? So if I try to go in here myself, it's going to hit that switch, which, by the way, drops it. So switches, toggle switches can turn into stepping stones if they fall in the water, which would happen in a situation like this. So that's a one-shot that can never be hit again because it's sunken and turned into a stone now. And so this is permanently open, nobody's going here. So this is an enforcement mechanism to make sure Leaf does not cross this column. So whatever I'm doing here has to be done from the west side. Puzzle's called Take Aim. I got these things that I can kind of just push in there and somehow interact with the slug. So this is all about pushing push blocks in there and doing something with the slug. So if we want the slug here, what does the slug have to do? It has to get out of its column, which means it's going to be moving west, because I gotta collide it with something going north. So a moving block has to collide with it and turn it to the west. Then it has to turn south, it'll naturally turn east here, then it has to turn north. So we need something in this column, and something to bump the slug here, and also a backstop for it so it doesn't go across the hot coals. So let's start with, since I can use the natural south boundary if I want, let's start with bumping something into the slug as it goes down here. So yeah, just time carefully, or, you know, use your undo key because it's there, and make sure you get the right timing for that. This one is tricky. This is a one-turn window. I have to make this shot exactly. Let's see if this is right. So it's like one of those 22.5 degree angles. Nailed it. So if I am one turn earlier, the slug moves. If I'm one turn later, the block hits the slug. So it's a one-turn window. So we've done that. Slug is turned this way, and I don't actually even have to push this onto the ice. I can if I want to expedite the process, but if I just sit it here on the hot coals, then this will resolve. So, room is done. And I can even put this in the water if I wish. Clean up some of that poison on the ice. Alright, disruptors. So, another Angry Eye on water. I'm seeing a pattern. Slug has to go here. This bit of water is in the way, and also, you're kind of trapped. Got no bomb bugs to deal with that statue rubble. So we're gonna have to do it some other way. So just as in that's Sheepdog. Well, Sheepdog too. Sheepdog and Best Friends. Insert a monster into the slug's circle, and slug will be disrupted and move out of it. So that's clearly what one of these statues is going to do. Then how does that route? So if I tried to move you west, you'd end up here going back and forth and nothing good would happen. If I tried to move you south, let's see, what would you do? How would you... Okay, so obstacle there, you go south, you go around like this. Doesn't look too great unless I can put a wall here. And that's hard to do. I think technically I can, right? Hold on. Oh no, sorry, that's not what would happen. As you went around the outside... Oh no. As you went around the outside, you'd bump into this, turn here, but you'd go back that way. You'd never go north, because you need to first traverse this, hit a wall here, then there would need to somehow magically be a wall there to send you north. So that's not how you get in there. So, so how are you getting in here? So either you're approaching from the west and hitting something here to go north, or you're approaching from the east and doing something impossible, or you're approaching from the south and crossing this water. So we do have something that can make water crossable. Let's first look at the approach from the west potential. First of all, getting you going west looks basically impossible. Does it? It looks hard, but is it actually impossible? There might be a way to... Let's see, what am I trying to do here? Getting the distance on this might be tough. No, not really. So I can put something there. And in the process, you probably could have disrupted the slug and sent it, I guess, east. But then the problem I would run into, let's assume I have done that. Problem I'd run into is, I think there's... Hold on. Have I just discovered an alternate solution? Not quite? Or have I? What if the slug goes north? Hold on, is this is not the way I wanted the puzzle to go, but can it work this way? It almost looks like it can. So I'd want to be sending the slug north. Ah, maybe that's the issue. I don't think I can do that, can I? Alright, being ornery again. How's that timing? Timing's wrong because of move order, so one earlier. Let's see, I'm gonna go up here. You're being sent north. I'm gonna wait on you for a moment. You'll be my buffer here. If I can get there in time... I don't think I can. I think that's the actual issue here. Yeah, the slug just jams me up. I don't have time to place the statue here. Okay, yeah, so that's almost an alternate solution. Interesting. Could I have done you first? Maybe I could have done you first. Hold on, does this work? I'm fine with it if it does. This seems like a perfectly okay way to solve the puzzle. I think this is gonna work. I'll show you the solution I had planned after this. Let's see, I'm gonna wait for that to turn, use it as a buffer, get this into this spot. Yeah, this totally works, doesn't it? Hey, check it out. And funny thing about this is that I'd have to leave to the south because my north route is poisoned, but that would work. Like, poison would clear off at that point. Alright, so I guess I'll show this system. So I leave to the south, I go back north, poison's cleared off, I can proceed to the north. So if I want to replay this room, there's a system for this. So, cleared on... Okay, you can see when this was recorded. So this... If you're watching, like, everything I've ever done, I did a talk about Let's Playability in games, like how to make your games friendly for that. This is where dates and times are recorded. That's the reason for this advanced setting to either include or not. Let's turn that off and I'll show you the difference. Basically, like, for Let's Plays, it can be potentially a privacy issue to show dates and times, and this is a situation where that is, so you can see exactly when it is, according to my computer when I recorded this. So, anyway, that option is for people who don't want to reveal that information. But, so I go to this replay menu. I haven't really shown how this works. I can restore to the beginning of any room that I've cleared, so it's most convenient to do the one that I'm already in, so I can watch my replay if I want to. This will play back just as I did it, in play mode. I can speed it up and go real quick. Or, if I want to, I can step through one at a time and sort of meter the movement. This system could use a few usability improvements. So yeah, left and right, undo and redo, basically. And right, if I press interact, then it just plays at full speed again. Alright, so anyway, but the other thing I can do here, instead of replaying, there are actually several, so I want to restore to you. All game state when this replay was created, progress in other rooms will be reset to its prior state at that time. So that takes me back to when this room was uncleared. The uncleared icon has returned there. If I have done that by accident or something, or I'm playing the world for a second time, there's also a way to input this. So I can go into step mode, and this is playing back what I did there. I can interrupt this at any time and say, okay, so that's the amount of the room that I did. I want to take over from here and put in new moves. So yeah, if you've cleared a room once and you have your replay saved, you can just re-input that from the beginning of the room and not have to do the initial work. It's a feature I've wanted in Drawd, and I had the opportunity to implement it here. But anyway, I just wanted to reset this room to do it the normal way that I do it. So there's this extra bit of rubble here that acts as a sightline blocker, allowing me to cross this line of sight and get over to this one. So the route that I was talking about, so we can do the north, bounce back and forth, put an obstacle here and here route. The other way is to approach this from the south and go across the water. So if I try to use this to go in the water, I can do that, but it's not convenient because I need somebody to mess with the slug. Why can't I do it in this order? Right, I can't do it in this order because I need to be farther to the south, because if I'm... Oh, and I'm sending the slug in the wrong direction, by the way. Yeah, so this just doesn't line up with... I need to send the slug east for this. So slug goes east, bounces on something here, north across the stepping stone, and then you just need the one obstacle. So that is why I have this sightline blocker here so I can get to the other side. Place the obstacle first. I want to do this with particular timing, so I awaken you and kind of put you on the south side of the slug. So move order is a little funny here. It had to be for the room layout to work. You have to move the statue, and the slug moves first. So that's why this is kind of funny. I have to do this on this turn, move the statue over, slug bumps against it, then the statue moves. It's fine, you know, it's going to be one way or the other. It's the less intuitive way, but for the room layout, it just... Couldn't I flip this vertically? I think there are other reasons that's not great. It's just, it's going to be one way or the other, and this was the way I chose. So, stepping stone goes there, room is solved that way. That's the easy way, kinda, but I found an alternate harder way, and that's fun. Alright, and if I go back here, now I have 2 replays. Right, so it just says cleared. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. And if I want to, I can manually save a replay even in a cleared room. So I just did those moves. I'm going to save this like that. And if I want to replay that, I can do it. Watch. So here are the moves I made. Oh boy, so exciting. And by the way, if I try to enter from the south, and I say input this, enter at this position. So you have to enter at the place where you started in order for it to sync up, because you can't just like warp to the other side of the room. But yeah, I can input this, and that's fine. So if I try to input, let's say, this one, enter at that position, sure. So let's do that in the clear room. Room clear status does not match replay's expected starting state. Input anyway. So I think I can still input this and see what would happen without any monsters in the room. So it'll still make the inputs and try to do the thing. It's just, I didn't make a statue kill, so things are desynced. It looks kind of funny. Things are not really going to resolve. I get that far and don't exit the room. But that's fine. Ooh, I don't want to do that. I'm where I need to be. Okay. So anyway, that's the replay system. And yeah, it's like simultaneously a replay system and a save system. It does both. Alright, so as I've been going along here, we're seeing that this zone expands even more out here. Turns out this one takes a while. I had a lot to say about it, and we're only like halfway done-ish. So, bumping shoulders. Note that the journal has been silent for a while. We're not really seeing new mechanics here, just intermixing of elements and implications of existing ones. Okay, so, slug here, trapped until I interact with that toggle switch. 3 bomb bugs on pressure plates. If they move, then my bridge to the north will be disrupted. And I don't think I'm going to get a slug to get me across. These are, at least 2 of these at a time would have to be held because I can't jump from one to the other if a slug is slowly crawling from one to the other. Those bomb bugs are not going to get back on if they move north. That's impossible. So, they have to stay where they are. Alright, so that's the opening problem of the room. Then there's a bunch of other stuff too. So Angry Eye look in there, Statue look in there. Let's do the things that I can interact with now. So I can open that, I can get around this slug. So yeah, Bomb Bug moves, that's not so great because I can't get across. Can't bridge across because it's too wide. And yeah. There's also this other pressure plate here, which closes those, which will need to happen for getting rid of the Angry Eye at the end. Alright, so what we need to do is use a slug buffer to get the bomb bugs not to move as I move across. So if I just go, the statue bears down on me as the slug is slowly moving into position, and you end up here. I'm forced to wait here because I can't move west, I can't move east yet, and I can't move north or south, so I just die in that situation. So what I need to do is alter my timing a little bit, go here as late as I can, wait once because I have to, go here as early as I can, and then I have a sightline blocker. So that's addressed, go across here. I can also, let's see, I can also wait one more. There are two timings for that. So I'm across. Bomb bugs have poison to their north, so they'll be dealt with from up here. So I don't actually need these to stay open once I am across and the slug is dealt with. So I don't want to kill the slug yet, because there's this other pressure plate here that needs to be held by something. There's a push block. So that push block has to come down here, because the slug isn't just going to go get on the plate. And let's see, slug on plate would mean... So let's say that I'm here, slug moves onto the plate, I get 2 turns of this closed. 1, 2. So for one thing I get laser beamed, for another thing I would get dropped. So slug is inadequate for crossing this, therefore push block must be here. Okay, let's go get it. I'll leave the slug alive. So if I try to get it, you see I have to move into this column to get it, and then that bomb bug dies on the thing and closes my way back. So that's why I left the slug alive, so that it can once again buffer against the bomb bug. Get plenty of time to do that because it needs to reorient there. Alright, so now the push block's in the wrong column. So to get it into the right column, there's a bunch of poison over there, kinda in my way. I can either... No, I don't think there isn't either. I think I have to exactly do this. So wait here for the slug to turn around. Put the block down here, clear off just enough space to push it this way. And there we go. Now that this is closed, I don't need to be down here anymore, so the bomb bugs can die. Angry Eye can die, and that's what this extra little bridge is for, to get your sight line so I'm on the right side and room is clear. Alright, so chemical spill. Oh, this room's fun. This is one of my favorites in the whole thing. So, big field of poison here. Monster block that needs to scare a bomb bug who's not going to move with anything I do. So, bunch of workers here to push the monster block across this gigantic field of poison that wants to de-monsterify it and make it impossible for it to scare the bomb bug. So if I just walk down here, stuff like this happens, and, you know, there's one of these can push that. I guess I have to go diagonally first, but then it's just dead. So, you have to route this such that somehow, with this number of statues, you can both clear the poison and get the monster block where it needs to go. So, got some clean space here, a whole bunch of poison. I'm forced to wake up this statue because all I can do is move up and down as far as the rest of the puzzle's concerned. There's a little bit of horizontal, but it doesn't really do anything. I can move up, I can move down, I can wait. So statue wakes up, you can't do anything useful, you're just kinda in the way. I guess you can clear the way for later pushing the monster block across that row if you want to. So now, I need to be careful where I kill this because I don't want it to block the sight line of future statues. You're already blocked, so that block has to move out of the way before you can awaken. Alright, so I kill that there because that's the row that doesn't have a statue in it here. Next one's forced to awaken like that. So I'm not ready to push the monster block yet because all the spaces it can be pushed into are poisoned. Actually, that's not a space it can be pushed into. Both of the spaces it can be pushed into are poisoned. So I can do that, that's no good. I can do that, that's no good. So let's do something else. So you can do a useful task in that you can clear this so that a future diagonal downward push of the monster block will expose this statue's sightline and also move you to a place where you're the diagonal pusher to get it up there. So yeah, just a chain of events becomes clear here. You do that, you're the diagonal pusher, then you can also help clear the way for the blocks path. Okay. Interesting, I could do this with one statue fewer than I have. Sort of. No, I couldn't, because I have to switch from diagonal to horizontal, and I can't do that. No. So my pre-cleanup of this row didn't actually save much of anything. Like, you could have ended up doing it. Actually, you couldn't, because that's where it is. Okay, no, all this makes sense. So you die there, you're the final pusher. You get that to where it's scary. Bomb bug blows up, monster block also has to die, statue has to die, and everything resolves. I really like how that plays out. Alright, last one standing. So, a not-so-great room following one that I think is pretty great. This is, honestly, one of my least favorite rooms. It's fine, I think, but you look at it briefly, you can immediately see what to do and see that it'll take a little while. Yeah, so if I were replacing rooms, this would be the first one I'd look at to replace. I think it's good enough. But yeah, this is like right at the minimum my standard for rooms. So anyway, this is a maze of poison that has to be removed to get a bomb bug right here and eliminate this flying snake. So, you know, you'll evaluate the maze and see you have 5 bomb bugs to remove poison, 1 to blow up here, so we need a path of no more than 5 poisons long. So this is unappealing, therefore it's this one. This is unappealing, so therefore it's this one. And yeah, this is pretty unappealing because of all those, so therefore it's this one. Then obviously it's this one, then obviously it's this one, and look at that, that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, just kind of circle around, spend the time you want to spend. It's sort of fun to try to optimize this and move multiple bomb bugs at a time, but the quick, the safe way to do it is just to circle around every time. It's kind of like Worker, only there's not a lot of shortcuts you can take to make the circling easier. There are some, but it'll make it more complicated, really, if you try to do them. Alright, so that poison's gone, you come down there, here I can take a little shortcut there, that's nice, because I pack those to the north, I have this southwest area under my control. Yeah, okay, so that actually makes this much more convenient. Leave those packed to the north, that expedites the process. Gotta go up north now. And then around, because you would have ended up getting poisoned if I'd gone that way. Alright, so you come down to that area. In here, over there, up north, to the west, and then while I'm doing that, I can multitask with you a little bit. Alright, path is clear. Final bomb bug goes into place. I guess the thing I don't like about this puzzle is, like, there's not much to say or speculate about. Like, you do all your figuring out at the start, then it just kind of takes a while to input. But it's okay. Having at least one maze room here I think is fine. Alright, so cycles. Here's the boss fight. The boss fight of boss fights. So this is a room that's just kind of cool to look at. This puzzle was made with a rather different process than most of the other puzzles. I basically like put down this pattern that I thought would be cool, then figured out how to turn it into a solvable room afterward. Sometimes it's fun to make a puzzle that way. Most of the puzzles in this game were made with a different process. I'll talk about the design process someday. But yeah, so this one was made just like, could I put slugs in this cool pattern and have it be stable? Turns out I can. So monster block in the middle, very buried in poison. Somehow I have to extract this and get it all the way over here to deal with that bomb bug. So yeah, good luck. If I try to go in, just like, kill one of these, then I'll find that that doesn't really help me because having this open from one side doesn't let me move it without getting rid of its monsterness. So if I go back out of here and try to get around to the other side and do the same thing, I'll see that my work up here has been erased, and somehow I have to do things from both sides. You can try to sort of like dig your way in like this. That might work if I did it from the start. So if I dig my way in this way, how does that go for me? So I gotta remove you, And my work has gone away. How unfortunate. Could I have prevented that from happening? Maybe. Okay. So I got that to a good place where if I could remove that poison and that poison, I could push it out and get it to the bomb bug. Issue is, this slug is not in the right part of its cycle. Or not in the correct loop around here to do that. So this is actually kind of close. Just doing that simple approach gets me almost there, but not quite. Because I need to have 2 still alive in this ring. Okay, so let's try iterating on that, and see if there was an opportunity to leave 1 more slug alive in this ring, in such a way that lets me do what I need to do. So, issue is I need to get in here, and can I use another one of these to do that? Oops. I think I run out if I... Do I run out if I do that? Hold on, doesn't this work? So I need to take you out because you're kind of in my way. Oh, this might be a solution. Oh, okay. This is actually simpler than what I normally do for this room, but oh, this works fine. Oh hey, I found an easier way! That's nice! Because with these 2 remaining, in that spacing, all I gotta do is... Okay, yes, this is like Colosseum, where like, there's a complicated way that I planned for. Well, actually, a complicated way I discovered, and then declared that the official way to do it. But just now I discovered a simpler one. Okay, cool, that wasn't so bad, actually. So here's the way that I do it, initially. So I figured out that basically I want to go in here, clear this, go all the way back around, and clear this in time to push that down before somebody going around this way disrupts me. Yeah, so the ending is the same, but the way I begin... with some trial and error, I just sort of figured out that I wanted a specific spacing of these. So yeah, what I originally declared the official solution looked kind of like this. So I kill one, I skip one. I kill one, I skip one. I get this spacing of slugs on the long route. Then basically the point of that is I want as much space between these 2 as I can, so if I kill this here, then I'd later be killing this here. But it turned out when I tried this... Okay, so let's try it with as much space as I can get. So 2 in a row. Right, 2 in a row can be done like this. Alright, so with as much time as I can possibly get, I want to erase you. That's my way both in and back out. So yeah, that's as much spacing as I can... No, that's not. Yes, it is. Right, yeah, it's the amount from here backward through the cycle. The time before this gets poisoned is at its maximum currently. So now I go around, I've killed 1 of these in the vertical loop. So what I find if I do this is... I kill you, I get this moved south, but I just don't quite have enough time to escape out the hole that I made. That is why I want that extra little gap in the cycle here. Because I don't want the tightest spacing I can get, I want 1 looser than the tightest I can get to solve that little problem. Alright, but otherwise we do this the same. I wait for the back one, I go in, kill that one, go out the way I came, go up here, and this timing works better because now as soon as I'm in, I wait once and I can kill that, and escape back out the way that I came. And then this is the same as we saw the puzzle end in the other place. Okay, so I'm happy that there's an easier solution because this one was pretty hard to figure out. Yeah, there's a lot of, like, rope to hang yourself in this puzzle, so to speak. Anyway, so that was the boss fight, final one of this zone. Here's the prize, got my 3rd infernal key, and a quick way back. Alright, so... very satisfying. So last one is going to be Hills 2, Through the Mountain Pass. Oh, that's going to be exciting. That is a very special zone, and you will see why next time. I'll see you then.